There we go. Starting with the Bills and Lions, Buffalo looking to win their third straight Turkey Day game, while the Lions are looking to avoid losing their sixth straight. Next, down at Jerry's World, we got the Giants taking on the Cowboys in a key NFC East matchup. The Cowboys lost their last three Thanksgiving matchups, with their last win coming in 2018 against Washington. And capping off the night, the Patriots will face the Vikings, where the Patriots play their first Thanksgiving game since beating the Jets in 2012, while the Vikings look to beat the Patriots for the first time since, wait for it, 2000. We now go live to Las Vegas to bring in ESPN sports betting analyst and our friend, the one and only Joe Fortenbaugh. Joe, thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to get right to it because, you know, Doggy's real excited to be here. Big better here to my left. Let's start with Buffalo at Detroit. The over-under is 54.5. What do you like, Joe?
Yes, the annual Detroit butt kicking on national television for all to watch. But fear not, Lions fans, not going to pick against you today. We're going to play under 54.5 total points here. Now, Detroit's hung 31 in each of their last two games, which I think is inflating this number. But that came against the Giants and the Bears. This is against the Bills, a step up in class. They rank top 5 in scoring defense. And keep in mind that even with those two big offensive performances, the Lions are averaging just 18 points per game over their last 6. Buffalo should run the ball here. Detroit's run defense is absolutely abysmal. Take some of the stress off of Josh Allen's arm and give him 10 days to get ready for the next game. Ultimately, I see it being a lower scoring game. I'm going under 54.5.
I'm going over. I'm going to say the 54.5 because I think that Buffalo's going to score at least 40 on Detroit. I mean, they just played there this past week. They're familiar with the stadium and everything else. Not that that really matters much, but I'm just throwing that in there since the game was moved from Buffalo because of the blizzard. All right, they were in Detroit, so now, you know what, they go right back to familiar confines. They're going to score 40 on Detroit, and I think Detroit has the potential to score about 24, 25 points against them. So I see this going over the 54.5. I'm going over.
How in the world can you watch Thanksgiving rooting for tackles and punts? And that's what you'd have to do if you want the under. So I'll be like Stevie. I'll go over. I'll say this. I like the Lions to cover. It's 9.5 points. They're due to play a big game. And remember about Buffalo. Yeah. Buffalo does not do a good job, Joe. Last week, the Browns covered. They blew a 27-10 lead to Minnesota. Green Bay covered late in the game. I could see the Lions being competitive. I'll take the points. I'll take the, as Stevie said, I'll take the over just for standpoint of enjoying my turkey, rooting for touchdowns.
All right, we'll keep it rolling here. New York, 9.5-point underdogs at Dallas. Super banged up. What's the play?
Well, first of all, a real treat in the show today to have everyone picking against me. Fantastic ambush you guys have set up on Thanksgiving. Back to the business at hand.
You're welcome.
The honest opinion here is that you should probably stay away from a lot that this game has to offer. I think you could play some props like Daniel Jones throwing an interception, but ultimately with all the injuries and all the issues, I lean to Dallas. I don't want to lean to Dallas, but I think New York is in really bad shape coming in here. They're missing cornerbacks. They've got an illness that's ripping through the locker room. A lot of guys are going to show up here. They're not going to be in good shape. Dallas is 1-10 against the spread in their last 11 Thanksgiving games. So it pains me to take them here, but I think the Giants are in bad shape coming into this game.
Listen, I think the Giants are going to get slaughtered in this. I really do. I got the Giants losing by a minimum of 14 points. And I love me some Coach Dable and the job that he's done. But based on how I saw them look last week against Detroit, and then to have to go to Dallas, you're injured, you're ill, and your quarterback will make you feel ill when you watch some of the plays that he makes. Or you combine that, I mean, listen, their only hope is being able to run the football, obviously. And I think on Thanksgiving Day on a short week, I just don't see that happening. Because as far as I'm concerned, Dallas Cowboys had a short week, too, because they didn't have to worry about the second half because they had already slaughtered Minnesota. It wasn't like it was a nail-biter. I think this is a bad spot for the New York Giants to be in.
I'll take Dallas, too. The one thing that worries me, Joe and Stevie, though, everybody's on Dallas. When everybody's on one team, go the other way. Because that's the way it works.
Well, they're allergic to prosperity.
So will you go
especially
the
with
other
Dallas.
way?
I won't. I'll take Dallas. I'm with Stevie, and I'm with Joe. I'll take Dallas. That's a lot of points in a divisional rivalry game. I'll give up the 10 or the 9.5.
Okay.
Next.
New England at Minnesota. The over-under is 42.5. Which way are you going, Joe?
This is going to be the under as well. 42 is a very key number when it comes to betting totals. So if you're playing this, you got to make sure you get the hook at 42.5. Teams on short rest tend to favor lower scoring affairs, tend to favor unders, and that's a trend going back over 10 years. New England's bringing a heck of a defense to the table here. And Bill Belichick going against Kirk Cousins, I like my chances with Belichick. Hear me out. Belichick's known for forcing the other team to play left-handed. We know Minnesota wants to throw the ball all over the field, so I wouldn't be surprised if New England sat back in nickel and dime and said, we're taking away the throwing lanes, we're going to let you run it underneath. That should lead to a big day for Dalvin Cook, but it also keeps the clock running. Now, on the other side, Mac Jones and that New England offense look terrible. Short week, on the road, crowd noise in Minnesota. Viking defense needs to bounce back. I think this is a lower scoring game.
I agree with you here because I think that what we've seen in the two losses that Minnesota suffered, Justin Jefferson, Philadelphia, and then obviously Dallas, they were able to contain Justin Jefferson. That's what we saw, all right? And when Kirk Cousins doesn't have Justin Jefferson to throw the football to, that chemistry that he's looking to accomplish with Hockenson, that's not there yet. Adam Thielen, even though he's good, he's no Stephon Diggs and he's no Justin Jefferson. And so when you look at it from that perspective, and then you look at New England and the experience on the defensive side of the ball, coached by Bill Belichick, if anybody has the potential to slow down a receiver and make you beat them a different way, it's Bill Belichick and that defensive squad. I think this is going to be under 42.5. That's what I'll go with.
I agree. And I tell you, the good play in this game, take the Patriots on the money line. You're not getting any points anyway. It's 3. Take Belichick to beat O'Connell. Experienced coach, 3 days rest, Thanksgiving. You know the Patriots are going to be ready to go. You agree with that, Steve?
Yes.
Joe likes it. Joe's nodding.
You agree with that, Joseph?
If Joe agrees, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing the number come towards New England. Everyone always talks about the extra rest and how great coaches like Andy Reid take advantage of it. I'm a believer that the short week games, those are the ones that really favor the good coaches. We saw that with Mike Vrabel against Matt LaFleur last week, Tennessee versus Green Bay. Right here, we're going to see it as well. Belichick's edge over O'Connell is going to be seen in this game.
All right. Joe, thank you so much. We're very grateful. Great addition to the show this season. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving with you and your family. And we will talk to you next week. Coming up, where there's no breaking news into First Take. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson is not starting Sunday's game versus the Chicago Bears. Mike White will get the nod. Head coach Robert Saleh did confirm this and spoke about it moments ago.
Zach's career here is not over. I know that's going to be the narrative. I know that's what everybody wants to shout out, and that's not even close to the case. The intent, the full intent, is to make sure Zach gets back on the football field at some point this year. When that is, I'll make that decision. I'm going to take it day to day. The biggest thing with Zach, and the same things that we've talked about, is the young man needs a reset. His decision-making's been fine. His practice habits, all that stuff have been fine, but there's some basic fundamental things that have gotten really out of whack for him, and this is just an opportunity for him to sit back, focus on those things, find a way to get reconnect to all the different things that we fell in love with during the draft process. And it's something that I feel like he's going to be able to do.
Okay. Sometimes we all need a reset. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Saleh handled himself well there. I'm surprised he made the call. I thought he'd we talked about earlier, give Wilson another opportunity after that bad performance. And listen, if Mike White plays well, it's hard to get him back in the game. This is not week 3. This is week 11. They only got 7 games to go. They're in a playoff race. And if they win, you got to leave the quarterback in. So I'm not sure if Wilson's going to get a chance to play again this year. They're going to win some games, and they're going to be in the mix. And so why do you take him out and put Wilson back in? You can't have a quarterback controversy in December. So from that standpoint, he may not play into next training camp. It's White's team for the foreseeable future. And I give Saleh credit. It took guts, Stevie, to make this call.
I give him credit, too, but let's be very, very clear. It probably came from upstairs because originally he wasn't of that position. And then they said that he was 2 hours late to addressing the media, which he never is. And our very own Mike Tannenbaum explained that usually when that happens, you're having meetings upstairs. All right, so we got to take that into consideration. That's one thing. Number 2, in order for there to be a quarterback controversy, because you bring this up a lot, let me remind you what a quarterback controversy is. Quarterback controversy, doggy, is when you have some people who believe you should be starting while others don't. And you're going back and forth. There ain't no quarterback controversy here. There's nobody that's going to say Zach Wilson should be the starting quarterback for the Jets right now. Nobody. There's no controversy. They knew, and you got to remember, everybody didn't assume it would be White. Some people thought it would be Flacco. And still, there was no quarterback controversy. Because the issue is not who you have coming in. The issue is who's been in and how awful he has been. And the fact that you are awful, plus young, plus devoid of the willingness to accept accountability for your deficiencies and ineptitude is what led to this decision. If Zach Wilson had come there on Sunday and said, quote, "It's on me. I played like straight trash. I got to do better. This is embarrassing, and I owe my teammates better than this," he might be starting this weekend. The fact of the matter is he did it. And because he didn't do that, you had a locker room full of dudes that's looking at him salty. And you know this better than most. When you have a situation where players, or coaches will tell you this all the time, we owe it to our players. That's really where the pressure comes from a coach in making the right decisions. Your responsibility is to put people in the best position to win. If he had put Zach Wilson back out on that field this weekend as a starting quarterback, now the players are looking at you. What you doing? What is this about? I said this years ago, and obviously it's not the same thing, but in a roundabout way it is. Pete Carroll is a great coach. He was a champion at the collegiate level. He's a champion in the National Football League. The Seattle Seahawks should have been back-to-back Super Bowl champions. When Marshawn Lynch catches a pass down the left sideline and scampers, and then he gets another run, and he gets to the half-yard line, and New England is clearly reeling, and you call for Russell Wilson to drop back and throw a pass over the middle that's ultimately intercepted by Malcolm Butler, the end had arrived at that whole era led by the Legion of Boom. Because everyone believed you just wanted Russell Wilson to be the hero. You didn't want beast mode Marshawn Lynch to close the deal, even though he had put you in a position to close the deal. Now, again, that situation is not comparable to the New York Jets. I'm only bringing it up to say, when you're a coach and you make a decision that clearly is not in the best interest of winning, it gets held against you, no matter how elite you are. And Salah ain't elite yet. He's getting there, but he ain't there yet. He couldn't put Zach Wilson out.
Yeah, I think your point about the locker room last week is the right point. I think if he came out on Sunday and handled himself a little better, he may have been a little more apt to give him an opportunity. I don't know if I like the analogy with Seattle. I don't think he's trying to make Wilson look bad. He just made a terrible call.
Made a terrible call. I'm just talking about what the players felt. You're trying to make him look good. You wanted him to be the hero instead of beast mode. That's how a lot of them felt. I'm telling you what they told me.
Interesting. Right. Well, Lynch should have had the ball. We all know that. He made a terrible decision.
Jets are currently 6-4 making the playoffs.
I say no.
I say no. I think 3 teams are coming out of the AFC.
Are you ready to have Thanksgiving with us?
Oh, I know.
You're going to be here tomorrow?
Is Carm going to cook something for us when I walk in the house?
No.
We're going to have food here tomorrow. We're going to have a full spread here.
How do I not have any food from Carm?
It's too early in the day for you to eat.
A little food, a little bit.
She's probably watching you right now.